Hello, everyone. We are so excited that you're here joining us for the My Little Pony Tabletop Game stream here at Renegade Con 2023. And I am joined by an incredible team of people who work behind the scenes night and day, making amazing My Little Pony stuff for you, that most of which you haven't even seen yet. So I'm excited to introduce everyone. And then we're going to talk about what you're really here for, which is all of the awesome games we have coming out soon. So Jimmy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello again. If you've been on our stream or watching the previous streams, I should be no stranger to you at this point. My name is Jimmy Lee. I am an associate game producer here at Renegade, and I like to make games and bits and cards. So
we thank you for all the things you do for our games, Jimmy. And Ryan Costello, what do you do for the My Little Pony games?
I'm a freelancer for the Essence 20 RPG line, which now includes the My Little Pony role-playing game. I designed the roles, the influences, the origins, a lot of the book other than the adventure. I've got my hoofs prints on.
I'm also going to put out a request to have you also in the future be in charge of all of our hairstyling, because you're very fantastic today.
This just comes in naturally. I'm sorry. I can't.
That's
Quite
unfair.
And we also are very blessed to have Christopher Chun with us. So Chris, what do you do with the My Little Pony games?
Hey everyone, I'm leading the design development team of the deck building game. So I worked on the True Talents, the Familiar Faces, and now introducing the Princess Pageantry expansion that I'm really excited for.
Oh, yes. We are quite excited for this. I think we're going to actually dive into the Princess Pageantry expansion for the deck building game here after we do a little face swap on screen here really quick. And then we'll get some details about that from you, in fact. So while that's happening on screen, I'm going to give you your first question so you can start thinking about this. So Christopher, tell us a bit about what inspired the Adventures in Equestria deck building game and what we can expect to see in the Princess Pageantry expansion.
Yeah, so the team was definitely inspired by the magic of friendship and the possibilities of having a co-op game within that realm. You're highlighting the highs and lows of being a pony in Equestria, and the main six always has something to work on, whether it be some chore around the house or battling a big giant bugbear. So there's a lot of friendship problems and overcoming villains, and we definitely wanted to highlight that for the game.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that the main game is cooperative, because it is a game that's made for, adult fans of My Little Pony, but I've played it with my nieces and nephews. I think as long as you're playing it as a family game, you can actually play this with just about anybody who loves games. So I love that it's cooperative. So yeah, specifically about Princess Pageantry, what do you want to share with us about that?
So Princess Pageantry follows the same formula that we've been doing to good success, that we have 4 new characters that you can play as. And I've been hearing some of the fandom, they really wanted to see Princess Luna happen. And that was always a goal of mine, to have her in a game. So introducing Princess Luna, along with, a couple of other ponies that she may know and be related to, being Princess Celestia, her big sister, Shining Armor, and Princess Cadence. So this is themed around the royal families of Canterlot and the Crystal Palace, and they're really powerful ponies. They're powerful for a reason, because in the show they're probably the most powerful ponies with the greatest magical powers. We really want to showcase that.
Yeah, and Celestia's hair is also matching Ryan's today, so that's a bonus.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, those are, I can't wait to play with these new ponies, because in the game as a player, you actually pick one of these ponies to be your character for the whole game. And so you really get to relate to the character that you pick. So having more options for that is a fantastic bonus for the game. I love that. So great. Do you want to tell us about any new card types in the game?
Yeah, so the biggest change for the game is now introducing the festival card. So the festival card is kind of like a hurdle or challenge if you're familiar with the game. Basically, these are cards that you want to accomplish before the active hurdle is done, because your ponies, you always celebrate good things that are going on in Equestria. So you don't, and instead of battling monsters, you could also be having a great time. And Pinkie Pie's in charge of that. But she needs some help in order to make sure the festival goes along really well. You have to discard cards from your hand that match these certain traits that the festivals want to see. And then you'll get a little gift token that could be anything you can imagine. The surprise is you never know what's going to be inside the gift. So it's all good stuff. So don't worry about that. The bad
no bad
thing,
surprises.
Exactly, right? But the bad thing is that if you don't accomplish the festival in time, you're going to be punished. And there's going to be added clouds to the final challenge if you have any gift tokens left over on the card. So
yikes. Yeah, nobody wants to miss out on a festival. That would be terrible.
Of course.
Nice. Oh, that sounds like fun. I think the game is already very challenging, even with just the base game. But once you play it enough and it gets to be a little bit easier, it's nice to have something else to work towards. Those sound like a really good addition to the game. Excellent. And then what inspired this particular expansion?
So for Princess Luna, she has the tragic backstory of being someone who, some pony, who was cast to the moon, and because she was Nightmare Moon, and being locked away for so long, her powers grew stronger and strong enough to actually come back to Equestria and be the main antagonist of episodes 1 and 2 for the main series. But with the help of Princess Celestia, the main 6 were able to defeat Nightmare Moon, and she became Princess Luna again. And now Princess Celestia and Luna tag team together to make sure that the sun and moon rise on time. And then for Princess Cadence and Shining Armor, I really like the dynamic that they share with Twilight Sparkle. Shining Armor being the biological brother of Twilight Sparkle, and then Princess Cadence being her babysitter growing up. So that love dimension of Princess Cadence and Shining Armor, them eventually marrying each other and having a really sick arc with Queen Chrysalis, about how Queen Chrysalis transformed into an evil Princess Cadence. I thought that was really amazing in show. So I really wanted to tackle these 4 characters and to really play into the fact that festivals are a really big thing in the royal family. I always want to attribute that to.
I really appreciate all your background knowledge of My Little Pony. I grew up as a fan when I was a little kid, but you just know so much more than even I do, even though I love this property so much. I think it's just fantastic to have somebody working on this that really knows every little background piece of it. So we really appreciate you being here, Chris. I'm going to throw a question over to Jimmy on this one. So I'm looking at these pieces and they are beautiful. And I know, Jimmy, you get to work as the producer on this game. And part of that is making sure that all the art gets into the game in the right place. So can you tell us a little bit about the artists that are behind the scenes working on this game?
Yeah, so we have the wonderful Mary Bellamy working on this game with us. She is absolutely fantastic. And we knew that when we were working on this game, we wanted to capture what felt really special about Friendship is Magic and make sure that all of the art that we made for this game really fit within that style and that aesthetic. So she has been an absolute joy to work with. And honestly, one of the best parts of my job is just being able to sit down and write art descriptions and be like, let's see if we can do this. And when she nails it, which she always does and has so far, yes, makes me so excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love all of her artwork. She does a great job. Very cool. So back to Christopher. I see you're answering some questions in chat, but I'm going to bother you over here again. As a My Little Pony fan, what values of the fandom have you tried to instill in these games? Oh, you're muted.
Am I muted now?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Excellent. So with Princess Cadence and Shiny Armor, especially, they introduce both the parents being Twilight Velvet and Nightlights. And so with in combination with the royal family, I wanted to also bring in the prospect of family being a really big tie-in as well. So you're going to see some allies from the parents' point of view. They're all going to help the main 6 characters. So we have the core game, which you need to play in order to play this game. Princess Pageantry also introduces the combinations of their parents. And then I really want to repeat that family possibility. You want to make sure your family's being involved in everything you do. And with Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, I really want to hammer down that they're the most powerful opponents in the game, but they also help bring in a lot of different abilities that the team may need in order to progress the game forward. So you're going to see some little challenging surprises, whatnot, with each of the new cards available, but hopefully you'll see a lot of the fandom being represented well.
I love that. That's awesome. It's really neat about the family aspect of the game. This question I did not tell you about ahead of time, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So if I wanted to play the base game and I wanted to play this new expansion, would I need to play with all 4 of these characters? Can I mix and match? Will the game work if I only play with these 4 characters? How does that work?
Yeah, so great question. All the characters I tried to make very agnostic with each other, so they fit within their own bubble. So you have familiar faces with the antagonist being protagonist, and then there's Spike, because of course we had to add Spike. So with Starlight Glimmer, Discord, and Trixie, they're all enemies of the main 6 characters, but then they turn face, and then they're now good guys with their little perks and everything like that. Then you had from True Talents with the Cutie Mark Crusaders and Zakora being a mentor to especially Apple Bloom. I really wanted to focus on their relationship, and of course the Cutie Mark Crusaders is the epitome of growing up as a filly to make sure you get your cutie mark, and when they eventually got their cutie mark, are super happy for them. And then with Princess Pageantry, the whole royal family aspect, being the not just figureheads, but they also are helpful in the show as well. They're fending off evil, making sure that the main 6, and especially Twilight Sparkle, she gets properly introduced going forward as the main princess going forward. Spoiler alert, but Princess Twilight Sparkle is a thing, right? So we wanted to make sure that she got her family involved as well.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. I am just really excited about this expansion. I hope all of you are too. And I assume that if you're here, you are interested in this and you might want to win a copy. Anybody think that sounds exciting? If you are excited about this, we're going to be doing a giveaway right now in chat. All you have to do is just post what reveal about Princess Pageantry was the most exciting for you, what you're most looking forward to. And if you can do that for us, our fantastic behind the scenes moderators are going to be randomly choosing one person who posts in chat, and that person is actually going to win an early copy of Princess Pageantry. We fly over a few copies before the game comes out. These copies we usually send to people like Jimmy to make sure everything looks good. Hey, Jimmy has a copy right there. And we have just a couple of these early copies, and we'll be sending those out to a random fan that tells us what thing they are most excited about for this release. And whoever gets picked, we're just going to have that person send an email to customer service at renegadegames.com and let them know that they won, and then we'll be sending that out. So let's just see who we're going to get as a winner. What do you think is going to be the top comment here, Chris?
I'm hoping for some Luna love, but if someone mentions, Shining Armor, because he's the rough and tough former guard of the Celestia's army, then that may be interesting as well.
I'm excited about all of these, but Shining Armor is definitely on my list because when I play RPGs or any game like that, I always play as a paladin. That's just my thing. So Shining Armor definitely speaks to me.
Exactly.
Oh, look at that. I think we have a winner. It looks like Michael Harris chose Luna as the theme that he's most excited about for this upcoming expansion. So congratulations. Follow the directions on the screen. Reach out to customer service at renegadegames.com and let them know your username, and you will win an early copy of Princess Pageantry. Thank you all for participating. We're going to carry on after we get a pre-order link for this game in chat. So if you're excited about this, please hit that pre-order button. And when you pre-order, also, we forgot to mention, you get a free bonus Meeple pack. Do you want to tell us about that really quick?
Yeah, sure. So we, as previous with all the expansions for this game and the core set 2, if you pre-order the game, you'll get a pack of meeples that will replace the standees in the game, and they are super cute, nice and chunky, featuring all the artwork from the cards. I know my camera's not great, but yeah, these are just a cute little swag upgrade so that you can have that fun tactile sensation of moving things around the board.
And as one of our wonderful chat members mentioned, these can be used for the RPG as well. There's no reason why you can't throw these on the table if you're going to be playing the RPG that we're about to start talking about. So if you play the RPG, you might as well pick up the deck building game. Play this in the meantime. RPG is coming out soon. Enjoy the deck building game. Get those free meeples. And then when the RPG comes out, you'll be ready and set to go. And yes, if you're wondering about retail orders, these are available at retail stores as well, as long as they order through us directly. So if you have a friendly local game store, please just connect them with us. We'll set them up as an official retailer. They'll be able to order directly through us and get these promo items, which are normally reserved as an exclusive for the Renegade store. But we love our friendly local game stores, so we try and help them out anytime we can. So fantastic. We are going to move on now and talk about the RPG. And that means we're going to do another little face swap here. So Chris and Jimmy, I think we're going to move on to just saying goodbye to Jimmy for a second, and we'll see you back here in a moment.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye. And Ryan, so good to see you back again. So we're talking about the RPG, and I have some good news for everyone. I believe that we are very close to this actually going to the printer, being finalized. All the hard work that you put into this is finally coming to an end. And we're going to see this in June of this year. So what can you tell people about your experience of playing this, of getting to work on it, and what they're going to get out of it once they get this in their hands?
Well, a lot of my play experiences with my 2 daughters who are, My Little Pony age fans. Not that there's any age that you couldn't be a My Little Pony fan, of course.
Well, I hope not. Nice.
But yeah, it really was fun to just face the challenge of knowing that any single My Little Pony story could either be like a very personal story about an artist trying to balance their work and their family life, or an epic magical battle with the fate of Equestria on the line. And so we knew that we already had some combat rules written out because this is an Essence 20 game, but figuring out a way to make a fun, light, but meaningful system for other forms of conflict resolution. It was a fun challenge, and I really think that this game absolutely delivers on that, and that anytime you want, if you want to do a story, like a single character story, while also having the whole group engage in one character story, like you would, on a typical Rarity episode, a typical Twilight episode, that's possible. Group quests are possible. Group epic quests with against monsters and with Equestria on the line, all of which is possible with the My Little Pony role-playing game.
That's amazing. What can you tell us about character building? We actually had a great question in chat about what playable species there are in the RPG, but beyond the 3 pony kinds. Do you want to talk about characters just in general a little bit, and then maybe answer that question as well?
Sure. So as an Essence 20 game, there is what we've always called the fashion template for building your character. It's just best applies to My Little Pony here, where you make 3 major character choices: your role, which is how you are interacting with the world; your origin, which is who you are fundamentally; and your influences are things that put you on this path that made you the main character of the story. And so the species that people were talking about, that falls under origin. Different games, it is applied differently, but it's always the same rules, and it always means like what got you started. So we did want to stick to just the three main ponies, just like the Friendship is Magic series started with. The Origins rules were designed with future species being added to the game, future creature types. But for the core rulebook, we wanted to make sure that with everything that we were adding to the game, a magic system, with other forms of conflict resolution, we wanted to stay focused on the character creation options, which is why you can be an Earth Pony, you can be a Unicorn, you can be a Pegasus for now, with more options to come.
I'm really looking forward to that. I don't even know which one of those I'm going to pick. It's going to be a hard choice, but I can't wait. And I think that's wonderful, because you have a lot more books coming up that we're not going to talk about this weekend, but it's nice to know that there's more content being made and you're thinking about that ahead of time. So what about world exploration? So what can we expect there?
Well, we've got several locations that are outlined. Ponyville, of course, Canterlot, Crystal Empire, basically all of the major settings that you saw in different episodes and different seasons throughout the series. We try and make sure that they get some plot hooks, so that if you want to visit there, you've got a couple of interesting things that you can do to center an adventure around. Or if you want to set your entire campaign around those locations, there's enough background that you can get started and flesh out the entire city for your adventure, for your campaign, however long you plan on spending there.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. We may have some fans of other Essence 20 system games in the chat, maybe Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers. All of those are actually out now, and so people have played them a little bit. Does My Little Pony bring any new mechanics to the table beyond what they've already seen?
Yeah, the big one is a magic system. This is something that is brand new to My Little Pony. The idea is that we wanted this to be completely compatible with the other games, and so we couldn't just add, say, a spellcasting skill to the Smart's Essence, because then the other games don't have that, and there would be questions about compatibility. And the My Little Pony rulebook is not where we would answer questions about how to add magic to Transformers. So instead, what we did was spellcasting is its own skill. It is separate from the other Essence scores, which is something we've never done before. And whenever you gain a skill point, you can, instead of putting it into, I got to take off my hair, it's starting to tip, and I don't want it to distract. Falling in front of my face.
Oh no, I missed the ears already. Oh well.
Oh, maybe they'll make a return. But
okay.
Yeah, for now. So you are taking it out of that essence, you're putting it into spellcasting. And that's very on theme with how spellcasting works in the My Little Pony universe. We see with Twilight Sparkle, she would sacrifice spending time with friends or really learning anything but magic because she was so focused on her spellcasting. And then the way spells work is that whenever you cast a spell, you get a certain number of downshifts. That's the spell's cost. And downshifts lower your ability to cast more spells. So if you want to cast 2 spells in a row, your second spell is going to be weaker because you've downshifted. And if you want to just spam spells all through the combat, they're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. But if you hit a spell, then do something else, maybe support a friend, and then get back to spellcasting, your spellcasting skill will upshift every round. So too much magic is exhausting. But spreading it out and being responsible with your magic, as every good spellcaster should be, that's the best way to be able to spread it out and make sure you're casting your spells when they count.
So if I wanted to play a My Little Pony spellcaster and my husband wanted to play Transformers, could we play together?
Yes, they are completely compatible as long as the characters are the same level. You have about the same power output. So Twilight Sparkle could... Let's see, who pairs best with Twilight Sparkle? I was going to say Optimus Prime, but that's too easy. Maybe Blaster? No, Blaster's more of a Pinkie Pie kind of Autobot.
Well, I think we need to put this game together. Maybe Gen Con, we'll get together and play this out.
Sounds good.
Excellent. All right, that sounds absolutely incredible. So we talked about new roles, right? We talked about magic.
Oh, no, we haven't talked about the roles.
Oh, well, let's talk about roles. I thought we'd already talked about that. Let's do it.
All right, so each role is tied to an element of harmony. So you've got generosity, honesty, loyalty, laughter. I mixed up the alphabet, whatever. Magic, and I'm missing one now. Kindness, there we go.
Kindness, that's important.
So In a way, it's kind of like no matter which party you put together, it's an all bard party, if you're thinking about it in terms of like a lot of fantasy RPGs, because everyone is there about helping one another. It's just the way that you are helping your fellow allies, helping the NPCs. That's what how each role is different. All the roles have certain things in common, like all of them get a circle of friendship at the beginning, which means that if you all want to team up, you could just kind of focus your energy on being as positive as possible. And you're all kind of sacrificing your turn, but you're doing one major effort, which we see them do a lot. We saw them do it to defeat Luna. We saw them do it basically once a season. You'll see these circles of friendships. At 10th level, every pony becomes a pillar of whatever their element of harmony is. So you could become a pillar of laughter. You could become a pillar of magic. And this is a combination of improving your status and your stature, because you get this health bump to show that you're not just it's not just another step along the path. You have become a more significant hero in the world of Equestria. And by 20th level, every single character becomes a princess of their element of harmony. So you become a princess of loyalty, a princess of honesty, and you do become an alicorn. So no matter what species you started at, you get your wings, you get your magic, and you get your a general perk to represent just the harmony of all three pony types coming together.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I know this all sounds like butterflies and bunnies and cute things, but of course, this is a story. And so there are going to be some challenges. There are going to be a little bit of conflict. And the way that works in the Essence 20 system right now feels a little bit weird for My Little Pony. So what things have you done to make that make more sense for these stories?
So we have brought over the combat system because there is fighting in My Little Pony. Most seasons end with a big epic battle, but most episodes are not big epic battles. And so instead of just having combat, we broadened it out to be conflict. And conflict falls into the categories of challenges and combat. We'll put combat aside. Challenges are great because they can be large in scope. So it could be, this is what this session is about, kind of like if you were doing a single episode or a single issue of the comic. Or it could be much larger in scope, and it could be an entire season arc, like Twilight and Starlight Glimmer, when they were becoming rivals about what the purpose of a cutie mark is and how magic should be used, and like just the fairness of what predestiny that's tied to your cutie mark is. So you can have that as one gigantic challenge that spreads out across your entire campaign. And then you can also do personal challenges where it's just focused on a single pony. So for example, if everyone in town is putting together a festival, but Sweetie Belle is having a bad day and Rarity is concerned about Sweetie Belle. So then she would have this Sweetie Belle challenge while also participating in this large group challenge of doing the festival, which she would obviously be handling the fashion aspect of whatever needed to be done, the decoration and the outfits. And so that way you can do these episodes that are mostly about a single character. And of course, GMs should fairly spread those out so that everybody gets their turn to be the main character of a session. But it's all the same rules where you are trying to overcome a certain number of skill tests related to that challenge. And every time you fail, it doesn't stop the story, but you get stress, which is a new kind of damage. It doesn't affect your health. It affects your essence scores. So let's say Applejack has like an apple harvesting challenge. Then if she's just going out there and bucking tree after tree, she could cause stress to her strength because she's getting tired and she'll be less effective. Or if it's something like she's doing that because Flim and Flam are in town and she needs to compete with them, then it could actually be a social challenge, even though she's bucking trees. So if she doesn't buck enough trees, then she takes social stress because she's worried about the reputation of Sweet Apple Acres. I really like this stress mechanic and the challenge mechanic, and I encourage Essence 20 players of the different settings to take a look at this when My Little Pony book comes out and see about bringing it into your games as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think that's going to be a lot of fun and really add a whole other layer and dynamic to the game. So thank you so much for telling us all about that, Ryan. That's really fascinating. But I do have a question for Chris really quick. I assume you were listening to all of that, probably getting a little bit excited. I know you're a huge My Little Pony fan. I know you're going to be playing this game the moment it comes out. What is going to be the name of your character, Chris?
I think I put a little bit too much time into thinking of this, but I think I came up with Rook Rush. So over lockdown, I got really into chess thanks to the Queen's Gambit and all the streamers that are playing chess on Twitch. So I really wanted to incorporate chess into it, hence the Rook. And Rook is a strong end piece game. And then sometimes when I'm playing chess, I end up rushing into decisions that I would inevitably regret. So rushing into same situations, being a pony, I might get myself into trouble. But I'm still reliable on certain times. So Rook, Rush, and being Canadian, I'm a huge fan of Rush as a band. So yeah, hats off to them.
I love that because I think it really highlights that you can make whatever pony you want. If you really love a pony that already exists in the world and you've seen this pony on this show and you really want to do that, you can make that pony. But if you also want to create something completely new, like what Chris just did, you can do that too, which that's awesome. I love the creativity, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So one other thing I wanted to mention is that there is the core rulebook, which is on the screen right now. And that is a hardcover, full color, just beautiful book. But if you are really into this and you think maybe you would want the deluxe limited edition version of this, we will have that out at the same time. You also do get the free PDF if you pre-order that. So check out the deluxe version of the rulebook. There's no difference in price, so it's really just which one are you most excited about. The deluxe version is only available through the Renegade Games store, the web store. So if you want to support your friendly local game store, they could also order this through our store if they work with us, if they set up that account. But otherwise, they're going to be a little bit harder to find. So we'll have more images of those by the next Renegade Con, which will be March 1st. So we'll show you a full picture of that, but you can pre-order it now if you want to. And either way, you get the free PDF, and we're going to be putting that out absolutely as early as possible. We know you have been waiting for longer than you should have, and we just wanted to get everything perfect. You know, Ryan has been just working so hard to make sure all the little details are right and make sure that this game really felt like My Little Pony more so than just another slapped on something with the same system. Like, this really is My Little Pony, so it took him a little bit longer to get to it. But it's coming very soon, going to be out in June. And along with the core rulebook and the deluxe core rulebook, we have a couple accessories, and I believe that Jimmy has been working on those. So if you would like to jump back in here, we're going to say goodbye to Ryan. Oh no, we're saying goodbye to Chris this time. Sorry, Chris. We'll see you in a minute. Thank you. So Jimmy, you work on tabletop games in general, and most of the time you do the board game side, but you're actually helping out with RPG accessories now. So What can you tell us about these incredibly sparkly, just jaw-droppingly beautiful dice?
They are very sparkly. That was our number one priority. How much glitter and sparkle can we fit into these dice without hurting anyone? The answer is a lot.
It's a lot.
We use a special glitter here called hollow glitter, which is like iridescent in its nature. So as you look through it and you hold it up in the light, you'll get all sorts of different like rainbow kind of effects coming through it. They're absolutely gorgeous.
This picture does not do them justice. I'm just going to say I have seen these in real life, and they are so sparkly. Like, you can't tell. Like,
I've tried taking so many different pictures or like looking at it through so many different lenses, and like pictures do not do these dice justice. They are just so incredibly sparkly and pretty. It's great.
They're really fantastic. So also there's a dice bag. Why would anybody want something like that? What do you do with it?
I mean, you put your dice in the bag, but you can also use it to like hold any other like super small accessories. I know, I will throw like tiny little tokens or like markers in there just to keep track of them, or like keeping track of like ability usage or anything like that. Anything that has like limited usage, or if I'm like trying to stack different effects on characters, then I will just fill my dice bag with tokens as well. Anything that I need lots of little bits for.
One other quick question about the dice set. So if I just went to my friendly local game store and picked up a set of 7-sided dice, would that be exactly the same as what's in here, or is there something special about this dice set?
You can use any set of like D20, D10, D8, all the way down to D4 set dice. However, these have the little special My Little Pony star in place of the highest number on the die.
And there's also a different number of dice in here, right?
It should be 7, right?
Do you want to help us out with this, Ryan?
Yeah, there's the D2. So
yes.
It looks like a coin that has all the main 6 cuddling together. That's the D2. You flip it like a coin.
Yeah. And there's also an extra die there, isn't there? Am I wrong about this?
Oh, there's 2 D20s, sorry. So that if you're rolling with snag or edge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yep. Which happens once you get up to higher level characters. So right at the very beginning, you won't notice it. But then once you get up to higher levels, you'll realize that this set is actually really handy. It has all the right stuff in there. And my cat decided to join our stream. How nice.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Hi, kitty. All right. So, Ryan, we have another accessory that I think is really fantastic, especially for GMs. Do you want to tell us about the In a Jam Adventure and GM screen?
Sure. So GM screen, for those who this might be your first role-playing game, GMs will often set up a cool piece of art that on their side has all kinds of handy charts so that you don't have to constantly be referencing the rule book if you know that it's a common rule that maybe you just have trouble remembering or it's your first time interacting with it. So the GM side of the GM screen is full of charts for dice shift, ladder, and whatnot, all the things that you want to reference quite often. It also gives you a chance to roll the dice without your players being able to see what's happening, just in case there's something you don't want them to know about, or if things are not working out for somebody and then luck is on your side and you just happen to want to fudge, but you don't want the players to know about it. That's the other advantage of having a GM screen. It's kind of like when Starlight Glimmer was just kind of hiding behind newspapers in the background throughout a whole season. That's you. You become Starlight Glimmer watching the main 6 doing the action.
I'm a big fan of rolling dice behind the GM screen just to see how my players react if they're like starting to like not pay attention or anything like that. It's just like, all right, I'm rolling dice back here.
They're like, that sounded like a D8. Are we going up against somebody with a D8?
Oh, it sounds too evil for this game. I don't know about either of you as a GM now. Oh dear.
We are evil so they could be good.
There you go. So that's the screen. What about the adventure that's also included?
Yeah, it comes with an adventure called In a Jam, which takes place in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, which I have a feeling people will assume that as a Canadian, I'm the one who came up with that, but this was part of the outline before I even got there. So someone decided that we definitely needed more adventures in Canadian Equestria. And Winnipeg is the setting for this. But what's great about Winnipeg is that it's a lot like Ponyville, but it doesn't have the 6 most powerful heroes in all of Equestria there. So there's a reason that when the PCs are here, they can't just call on Twilight or whoever to come in and save the day. Basically, the PCs who will be, I think, second level for this adventure, because there's also an adventure in the core rulebook. So if you play that, then you'll be ready to play this one as a second level character. You're the most powerful heroes that Winnipeg has. So one of Applejack's cousins, Candy Apples, has found another Zap Apple orchard. Zap apples are extremely rare, and so she wants to make Zap Apple jam. But for some reason, the apples just are not ripening this year, and they already announced that there was going to be a Zap Apple Festival. And as you know, Zap apples, you have to harvest them within weeks of them ripening, and the first signs of the harvest were there, but we have not got the second signs. So Candy Apples needs the PCs to just investigate what is going on. Why aren't these Zap apples ripening? They have to talk to the people that have come from far and wide for Zap Apple Jams and convince them not to riot. They have to talk to local officials to make sure that the mayor isn't trying to pass the buck on to Candy Apples and come out of this clean. And of course, to investigate what the science is behind why these apples aren't ripening. So there's multiple different ways that you can explore through. You can travel through the adventure. You can do it in different orders, dealing with the different challenges. And once you get to the bottom of it, you have the option to have some combat, but you also have the option to resolve things peacefully. And it's my first time writing an adventure with those challenge rules that I talked about for the core rulebook, and I had so much fun using those tools to write this adventure. I'm really happy with how it all worked out.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And that actually comes with the GM screen, right?
Yeah, that's right. All of the Essence 20 GM screens come with a published adventure.
And if you pre-order it, you get a PDF of that adventure as well.
Nice.
One other quick question I've seen sort of come up in chat a few times. Is there a world map of all of Equestria somewhere? Or is that something you might be working on in the future?
That is an art question, and I do words.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We'll get an answer for that in the future then. All right, fun. Well, thank you, chat, for asking that. We'll bring that up with the rest of the team. That sounds like fun. All right. So there's also inside the GM screen, you've got the beautiful back with that cool artwork on it. And it's a screen so people can't see what's going on behind it. But what is on the other side? What is a GM? What do you see on the other side of the screen?
What do the players see, you mean?
No. What does the GM see?
The GM sees the charts and whatnot. We talked about that.
Oh, we talked about charts. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good,
sorry.
Good.
We talked about it out of order. Sorry about that.
No, we're all good. No worries.
Okay.
All right. So that is coming out in June alongside, or is this a little bit later? That might be a little bit later. Coming out soon after the core rulebook comes out. But alongside the core rulebook, we do also have the expanded character journal. So what can you tell us about that, and why would players care about it?
Well, you should care about it because journals are very important to My Little Pony. The first shot of the first episode of Friendship is Magic is a journal opening up, telling us the story. And the last shot of the last episode is that journal closing. So journals are thematically tied to My Little Pony. It's a very important idea. Like, books are the source of the magic and the adventures and the stories that all of the ponies interact with. And this book is your story. It has room for your stats, for your, the same thing you would put on a character sheet. That's like 2 pages. And this has countless other pages where you can do an illustration of your pony. You can do an illustration of your cutie mark. You can write all of the adventures, like summaries of all of your adventures. You can write all of the friends you've made along the way, any enemies you may have crossed that hopefully will one day become friends. You don't know. You get to journal all of your interactions with all of these characters, with the worlds, track down your deeds, and once the campaign is done, you can close the book on it, and you have a summary of your entire adventure of your My Little Pony campaign.
I love that, because then you can put it on your shelf. It's beautiful. The inside is also very colorful. It's not just black and white pages, and it's not just a notebook either. It has all sorts of things that you fill out, all sorts of things that will help you think of backstory for your character and just really flesh it out. I think these are fantastic, really good prompts. So neat. Oh, that'll be fun. I can't wait to get all of these things on my shelf. It's going to be a blast. And
I think we have some pictures of the interiors, right?
Yeah. Any other pictures we want to show of that?
All of them?
All of the pictures? I want to see all of the pictures. Also, when you go to our pre-order page, we'll have pictures up of the inside of this as well. So if you want to click on that pre-order button, then you can get some sneak previews as well. Oh, there we go. Those are beautiful. And
you can get a PDF of this as well, right? So if you wanted to do a digital copy and not write in your physical copy, like I see somebody in the book is a little worried about writing in a book.
I don't have that information at this time. Okay. We'll have to jump on the website and double check that one.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure. Very cool. So I'm hoping that people are a little bit excited about all of these. Oh, look at those beautiful pages. I love all the rainbows. All this fun stuff we've just showed off. So I think it's time to do a giveaway. What do you think?
Yeah.
Does anybody in chat think it's a good idea to do a giveaway? Anybody want any of this stuff? Hopefully. So if you do think that this is pretty exciting, we would love to see your comments. What we want to know this time is, what are you most looking forward to in all of the things we just showed? So the role-playing game, the accessories, the dice, the journal, the deluxe book. What is the thing that you just think, that is awesome, I need that on my shelf right now? We are going to send an early copy of whatever is chosen to our winner. So post in the chat what you're most excited about, and our fantastic moderators behind the scenes are going to pick one of you randomly, and that person will get an early preview copy of that thing that you pick, either book or accessory. So let's see. What are you most excited about, Jimmy? you have some things to be excited about.
No, I'm really excited about the RPGs. I should be biased and I should be really excited about the deck building game, but I love RPG books and I love being able to like flip through and read lore and all of that kind of stuff that you don't get to experience when you are just watching the show. So I love any of those deep decks or deep dives into like extended lore.
Nice. Well, it looks like the person who has won is Green Apple, and they picked the magic system as being the reveal that they were most excited about. So that sounds like a core rulebook winner to me. Thank you so much, everybody who posted these amazing things. I love this, making new friends. I agree. That's a great thing about RPGs. There's so many new people that you can meet through games in general, and RPGs are a great way to do that. So excellent comments. Everybody is a winner. Thank you all so much for posting. We love to see all that stuff. If you haven't pre-ordered any of the My Little Pony role-playing game accessories yet, please do that now. This is coming out soon. A lot of the accessories are already here waiting to be shipped with the core games, so those will be coming out in June as well. But before we wrap things up, there's one other thing I'd really like to share with you. If you are the kind of person who gets groups together, you're the person that everybody turns to be the GM. We would love to have your help reaching out to more communities about this game. And so we've set up this program called Play Renegade, and that program is centered around giving GMs like yourself, people who are really enthusiastic about the game, all the tools they need to be able to play this with groups in public. So that would be at local conventions, maybe at a public library, at your friendly local gaming store, somewhere where anybody can come and join you. So if you want to run a game of My Little Pony role-playing game at one of these public places, like I just mentioned, all you have to do is sign up on this form. It's a totally free program. We just want to know who you are and where you're running these events so that we can help get other players to that event. And then we will give you a free adventure that you can run added. And so there's no cost to sign up. There's no hardcore requirements or anything. We just need to know that you're excited and interested in this. You get this free adventure, and you get it about 6 months before we're going to put those up for sale on our store. You get it for free just as a thank you for being part of the community and for helping expand and making new friends, just like one of our fantastic chat members said. So if you want to make some new friends, sign up for Play Renegade. And you can also do it online, just to mention that too. If there's a place online that we could also direct people to where they could also play with you, then that would also be acceptable. So start playing games, demi playing, anything like that. If you're even streaming your game on YouTube and you want to share it with other people there, that would also count. So there's lots of options. And you can see the Great Cake Mistake is going to be our first option for this game. And that'll come out in June along with the core rulebook. So if you want this adventure, another option for playing, you want to get out there and tell more people about My Little Pony role-playing game, please sign up. All right. That is most of what we have today. Did any of you want to tell all of our fans anything else about My Little Pony that we missed?
I've got a story about how I playtested in a jam.
Yes, I want to hear about it.
All right, so when I would pick up my daughters from daycare, on the drive home, I would just be like, hey, suppose you were in Equestria and a pony came up to you with this problem. How would you solve it? And so they would walk through the different scenarios, and it inspired a lot of different twists and turns in the challenges. It's one of the reasons that it can be played non-linear. And they're like, at one point, my daughter was like, well, can I get up on the roof? And it made me realize, well, there's Pegasus in this world, so you can easily get up on the roof. I need to add some rules for a roof entrance to this building.
That's amazing. I love how inspirational kids can be because they just haven't gotten it into their heads that you can't do things yet. They still think anything is possible. And in fact, if you had asked me when I was a 4 or 5-year-old what I wanted to be when I grew up, everyone had told me I could be whatever I wanted. I literally told people I wanted to be a horse because I thought that was one of the options. And I played so much My Little Pony. I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
I don't think my kids understand how cool it is that I get to ride on My Little Pony. And I have a feeling like if they told their teachers would just be like, Yes, that's nice. I'm sure your dad writes on a My Little Pony game. But it's true.
Too cool to be true.
Right?
That's amazing. Well, for all of our fans out there, if you want to come and play My Little Pony with us and meet Ryan, meet the rest of our team, we are actually going to be at Gen Con this year, and we are going to have all sorts of really cool events. We have events for the deck building game. We're going to be doing a whole league where we're giving away some foil promo cards, and all you have to do is come and play and enjoy it. You can play all of the deck building games. You can play just My Little Pony, whatever is exciting for you. And then we also have RPG sessions, and those are going to be ticketed events run by amazing GMs that come and work for us at the convention and run a special scenario made just for Gen Con. And those fill up really fast. So if you are excited about playing in one of those events for Gen Con open May 21st, so do not miss that time. They often sell out in minutes. But before you can even sign up for events at Gen Con, you also have to have a badge. And badge registration actually just opened up about a week ago. So if you want to register for Gen Con, if you want to see us there, go get your badge now, and then you'll be on the email list, and you'll make sure that you're able to get those event tickets as soon as they open up. So that's all that we have for this Renegade Con, but on March 1st, we're going to do a special Renegade Con that just covers all of the extra fun things we have coming out at Gen Con. So if you want to see even more fun things that we haven't spoiled yet, come join us on March 1st. We're going to do a 2-hour just wait panel. That's all of our just new stuff, and that's going to be on the same YouTube channel. So subscribe, you'll get notifications. Make sure you join us for that. Make sure you pre-order any of the games that you were excited about today, especially, oh my gosh, those My Little Pony dice. I am just in love with those. If there's anything else, the deck building game, the core rulebook, the deluxe edition, dice, GM screen, character journal, bag, all that stuff is on pre-order now, and we would love to see you playing that with all your friends. So post in all our communities when you get that in June. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Chris, for being here and for working so hard on these games and just being awesome fans of My Little Pony. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have fun and enjoy the rest.